Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Money Mondays. Today's Money Monday, and today's Monday. Hi, everyone. How you doing? If you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. How you doing? Feel free to leave some questions, and if you want have questions, if you have questions along the way, I always come back to these videos and I answer questions you guys might have. So, as you see by the title, today we're going to talk about why you're not making more money. Why, or perhaps the money that you're making, you're not able to increase this. And this is going to be for specific type of not type, but specific um, business owner, specific entrepreneur, specific coach, specific consultant. See, here's two things that are very interesting. um, Somehow, I don't know how why this happens. Someone in the research psychology research field needs to do a study on this. Us entrepreneurs, for whatever reason, right? Sometimes we find something that works well, and we go, "Oh, this works. Let me find something else," and that's what we do, right? So here, there's two things that I want to talk about. So sometimes, and this came from a conversation I was having with someone. I think it was on Thursday last week, Thursday Wednesday of last week, and the conversation was basically that she's a coach and she wanted to have more clients, and she was trying to say, "Oh, Sally, how can I improve? Have more clients because then I'll have I'm not booked out. I still have more spaces, more slots, but they're not being filled." I know the one of the strategies that I developed for her was the webinar model, right? So she does webinars, she does live webinars, and she promotes the webinars with Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram ads, and she does once per month. So I just asked her, so okay, you want to increase? So how often are you doing the webinars? She said once a month. I'm like, okay. And how much are you spending per month or in to promote your webinar? She does like $300 to $400 promoting the webinar, and she sells a $2,000 coaching program. And she usually is able to sell two to three per per webinar. So that's like a I don't know 30x something like that. I don't even know on her investments. So basically, I just asked, so why are you not doing more webinars then, right? Because sometimes this is really interesting. Sometimes we're doing the thing that gets us clients, but we don't do more of it. Sometimes it's just about volume, and we really underestimate volume. And when I was having the conversation with her last week, I just asked her, okay, so why, if you're doing the webinar once per month, why don't we do either every single week or every other week? So now you do twice per month or four times per month. Or the other option is to increase the ad spend. So instead of spending $300, now spend 600, right? Because you're gonna have more people. More people means more prospects. More prospects means more clients. So think about, and this is kind of like a reminder, right? Because sometimes we really underestimate the amount of volume that it requires to have the outcome. Now, I say this specific for the business owners and for the consultants, for the coaches that already have something that works, right? Because I don't want to come on here and say, "Oh, you just need to do more of whatever you're doing." If that thing that you're doing has not produced any results, maybe you're doing the wrong thing, right? So I don't want you to, for example, go into the what I like to call the post and pray, like post and pray something happens. Like let's pray something happens at the end of this. That's not the point of it, right? So the point of it is find something that works and then double down on it, right? Don't start doing 300 million things at the same time. Because coming from a marketing strategist, everything works, right? DMing people works, doing webinar works, doing challenges work, having a free PDF or free whatever works, um, doing retreats works, everything works. What doesn't work is for you to have 7 different marketing strategies and somehow trying to implement all of them to perfection. So focus on one, just double down on that one, because that's the main thing that I want to say. And perhaps maybe that's why you're not making more money than you're making now, because you're just trying to do everything at once. Just focus on, and I cannot tell you the amount of upside you're gonna have just by focusing on this one thing. I remember that when I started doing outreach, I was doing it by myself, and the first thing that came to mind, not the first thing, but I was listening to a podcast by Ravi Abudala, and he mentioned about hiring a VA. And to me, I was trying to like, I thought that I was responsible for doing all the things that I was doing, and I was like, okay. And then when I heard them on a podcast, I was like, okay, so I can just hire a VA and outsource this. My business literally doubled the next month because now I outsourced someone to double down on the thing that I was doing. So I went from doing like I don't know 100 volume to now doing 200 because there's two of us now, and I continue to double down on the same thing, right? So for you, this could be sort of like a reminder of if you're in a journey of like trying to figure out what else you should be doing, just focus on the thing that is working now. Really be a master of that. more focus on your one channel. So they, for example, you have one target audience, you have one problem that you solve, and you have one channel to acquire the customer. Do that until you make 100K per month. I'm not kidding. You're able to do that. If you double down on the one thing, you're able to do it because you're gonna master it. Your every day is gonna be that. If that's ads, that's ads. If that's webinar, that's webinar. If that's having a challenge, that's having a challenge, right? So just double that on that and produce more of that result or do more of the thing, and you'll be more, you be a pro at it, right? So for example, when it comes to outreach, I mean I have the testimonials to prove it. Like I like, because that's the thing that I've been doing ever since I started my business. So that's the first time, the first way of client acquisition that I've done. Then I decided to then double down on webinars, and I've done tons and tons and tons of webinars. And every single time you do something, you don't start, even if it doesn't go well. Remember that you're not starting from zero. You're starting from, now you're learning more. Mike, how did you use your VA? So the VA that I used, oh, she's not working with me anymore. But she's based in the Philippines, and she's responsible to get the leads and clean them, right? So those are the things I looked for, things that are taking a lot of my time, right? And because this comes a point in your business that you have to stop working in the business and start on the business. You start working on the business. So I started looking for things that were taking a lot of my time to acquire those leads, and I just outsourced that to her. She started doing it. So that's how. And if you're looking to hire VA, I think I have a video on this, because a lot of people sometimes even feel that VA is the end all and be all. They feel like, okay, I'm really overworked, I'm burned out, let me hire a VA. And the VA comes in, but the thing is that the VA is only going to come and follow your instructions. If you have no idea what they're supposed to be doing in a day to day, and they're just there to answer some emails, things that you can be doing anyway, I mean, it's just a waste of time, right? Find out what's the thing that is I call it the income generating activity. Find how much of that time you're investing on that and how you can outsource that to a VA. So if that's outreach, that's outreach. If that's posting on social media, try to see how can you can, what are the, if you're the one creating the content, awesome. But do you have to be the one posting it and scheduling it and finding the right image to go with it? Do you have to be that person to do that? For example, if you are creating webinars every single week, do you have to be the person that sets up all the back end to make sure the dates and the emails and all the things go well? Do you have to be that person? So yeah. No, not as appointment setter, because the way that I do it, people go to my VSL. I have a VSL. So people go to my VSL and they schedule the appointment. So they're not appointment setters. I don't really like them, actually. I like to speak to I like to speak to the person directly. So no. Not as appointment setters. But okay, but today was really just kind of to highlight that, understand what are the things that, just double down on that. For example, Mike, if you're doing outreach, if that's your thing, is that what you're doing, Mike? You're doing outreach to acquire customers, or are you doing webinars, or are you doing, I don't know, chats? What I mean by chat is when you post something and then you go, comment the word ready so I can send you a message, or people send you a message with the word ready, and then you have the chat, many chats trigger go on. Is that what you're doing? Just let me know so I can give you some pointers as well. I know there's a little bit of a delay. There's always a delay. So between when I say something, when you get it, I'm going to wait for another like 10 seconds or so. Whilst I drink my water. Let me know what are you doing now for client acquisition? I'll let you know. I'll give you my yes, outreach, more building my brand awareness right now. Okay, so you do outreach, but that's to set appointments, or outreach to build your brand awareness. So you do outreach to share something of yours, to share like a freebie, or what is the outreach for? But because also outreach also depends a lot on the target audience, right? Because there's some target audiences. That's a big thing that when I work with clients, that's the first thing we kind of establish, right? So depending on your target audience, then that will indicate the type of, or which social media should be focusing on. For example, yes, last week I was talking to someone that she's a leadership coach, right? So there's no reason why she shouldn't be on LinkedIn. This is her platform. LinkedIn is her platform. And there's other people that they're selling, for example, if they're selling e-commerce, right? So TikTok can be a good one as well, or Instagram can be a good one. like for free consultation. So the free consultation, is it to then close them on the deal? Is it like a free consultation and then is that the 15-minute call and then you get them on the, is it a two call close? Is that what you're doing? Or is it just purely a free consultation? Okay, got it. Got it. Yeah, because there's ways, if you can do the free consultation and then if they're interested, you can then go on the next call or depending as well on what you're selling, because I don't know what you're selling as well. So depends a lot on what you're selling to um, the target audience and also the pricing of what you're selling. I just got I just got a ad rejected. Okay, it's okay. I have to look at it. I have to review it. Facebook ads just is amazing when it works, but then when it has these little things like, oh my god, now an ad is rejected. I have to go in and see exactly what's missing. Okay, you're doing fitness coach. Okay, so you help people with their fitness. You do meal plans and things like that. Um, depending on your target audience, both the three, four of the social medias can work well, right? So if you do like, for example, if you're a fitness coach for busy entrepreneurs or for busy leaders or things like that, if that's your target audience, then LinkedIn is the best. If you're a fitness coach for everyone and all you have is basically a kind of like what Kayla has, even what she had back in the day was basically like a guide with the exercises people could do at home, and that's kind of like a consumer kind of product. If you're doing that, that can be linked. That can be Instagram. You can also look at the I don't even know what to call this. This is the I don't know if you've seen online when you make a very small offer that costs like $17, $27, and then you build a funnel around that. So it can be like, for example, the workouts, the weekly workouts for someone, weekly workouts for 6 weeks to help you lose 20 pounds, whatever it is, right? And then you have that, and that costs $27, and that's like the buy-in. And then the upsell can be jump on a call with me so we can make sure that this is the best for you. You clear like a funnel through that. That can be one way of doing it if you're doing mass, right? So that's what I was saying. There's so many different ways of marketing, and all of them are right. It's just finding what works for you and just double down on that. So, Mike, if you've been successful at getting clients through outreach, reverse engineer or how you did that, and see how you can replicate it and just do more of it, right? So that's basically it. That's basically it. Now I have to figure out why this thing got. Okay. Awesome. So you mean like the what was it called? The value ladder, right? So you have something small and then up and then up, up, up. Yeah, yeah. So that's a value ladder. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Anyone has any questions? Anything else that you guys want to share? Close offer. What's a close offer? Close offer. Close offer. Not sure what that is. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to share on this Mondays. Mike, let me know what's a close offer. I don't know what that is. Trying to see close. Yeah, close offer. No, I don't know what that is. Um, anyone who has any questions, if you're watching this on replay, you can always leave the hashtag replay, leave the questions. I always come back to these and answer any questions that you might have. And yeah, let me wait another 20 seconds. Or sorry, not 20, 10, 15. If there's any questions, anything. But basically on today's the message is very simple. Whatever you're doing now that is working, stop looking for distractions, stop looking for the shiny objects. Whatever you're doing, it's working. So just double down on that. Don't start like going through. And my first time went on Sunday night, and I think I will do more of them going forward. Oh, fantastic! Woo! Paul, congratulations. I know how intimidating can be to do a webinar. So the idea that you did your first one, congratulations. It's at least, that's the feedback that I got for a lot of people. And also that was the same for me. That was a little nerve-wracking because, oh my God, you prepare and then you're there and then you're live and you're talking to people and you're presenting something. Make sure that you record. So Paul, this is something for you. Make sure that you record your webinars and watch back. Also, something very important, make sure that you take notes of the questions that people ask and how they ask them, because questions sometimes can be objections. So when they ask, so, oh, what about this? So that way you can always tweak your webinar to answer those questions in advance because you want to make sure that you're ahead of the game. It was good to practice to get my message in practice offer my service via social media. I have live streamed on YouTube so I can share it later. Yeah, totally, totally. And also, oh, amazing they have it on YouTube so you can look at the comments as well. So the webinars, something else. Okay, I have the book right here. Lucky for you, I have the book right here, not there. I don't know why I have it here and not there. So this is one of the books that I recommend on webinars. It's called One Too Many by Jason Fladlien. By Jason, he's an amazing. He's the guy that made, what is it? The record that he broke, 53 million from one webinar, a 4-hour webinar. So yeah. So this book will teach you a lot about webinars because the big mistake people do on webinars sometimes is they go too much into teaching. And not that teaching is wrong. You definitely want to teach in your webinar, but it's what type of teaching do you want to do? You want to talk a lot about the why and the what and a little bit of the how. There's structures that you want to follow. There are specific frameworks you want to follow. There's a specific way that you want to segue into your offer. There's like things like that you want to make sure that you take in consideration when doing your webinar. Don't think of the webinar as in teaching, because if you just go too much into this, how you do this, so that people go, oh, thank you so much, got it, thank you, Paul, bye, right? So they'll never buy from you. They'll just go implement it themselves. Basically, what the webinar does is to really highlight where they are, where they want to go, what's keeping them stuck, and why they would need you to get there faster, easiest, without having so much of a complication. So I cannot recommend this book enough. I've read it, I don't know how many times, but I don't know why it's here because usually I have my books in my thing, but maybe I was looking something else and I just left it there. So One Too Many, I highly recommend it. Jason, he has a podcast now. He's kind of he's always been like the guru of the gurus. Like all the people that teach webinars, they kind of all learn from him. All the big guys in the game. So Russell Brunson, Amy Porterfield, all those guys. So he's always been the guru of the gurus, and it's amazing. So and he's always been like behind the scene, and in the last year, he has been more, forward in creating more content. So he has a podcast as well. So highly recommend go to his podcast. His podcasts are really short as well, so it's easy thing to hear. I usually back in when I start binge listening to his podcast, I would just go on a walk for like 20 minutes. I would listen to 2 of them, so 40 minutes for my walk. Yeah. So yeah, you're welcome, Paul. He's really good. So highly, I cannot recommend it enough. So his podcast, follow him on Instagram as well. He has also a YouTube channel. What he usually does, he repurposes his YouTube channel, his YouTube videos to a podcast. So that is repurposed content, and also the book. So do everything he says. That's what I can say. Right? The guy made 50 something million from a webinar. So definitely there's things to learn from him. So yeah. So and anyone has any other questions on this Mondays? So there, Paul. There's ways of you making more money. Choose. I have this thing. How can I? Okay. I got my ads rejected, and I have to go in and kind of see what did I do wrong. It's a new ad, so I was launching a new ad, so then I have to go in and kind of fix things. But okay, I'll manage. Okay, if there's no more questions, I think this will be it. Yes, so as a last note, double down on what's working. And it's not because that it didn't work the first time, doesn't mean that it doesn't work, right? It's unreasonable to try something at the first time and say, it's not for me or it doesn't work. You have to try many times. You don't jump on a call with the prospect, and because they didn't buy that first time, you don't say, oh, phone calls don't work. Like, what? It just means you're not good enough, right? So you need to double down and make sure that you do it until you make good. For example, Paul, I don't know if you closed anyone on the first time they did the webinar, but if you didn't, it doesn't mean the webinars don't work. Definitely they do work. It just means that it's okay to suck when you haven't done it so many times yet. If you're learning it. So continue to do it, continue to learn, continue to understand more about your target audience, continue to increase your knowledge about webinars, and you'll become best at it. Okay. As always, a big hug, a big kiss, and I'll see you next week. Bye.